Okay, so welcome to the Node.js Node Add-on API team meeting for July 26, 2024. We'll take our standard approach of looking at the issues that were tagged for milestone 11. So let me just pull that up and share. There we go. Okay, so to start with, any announcements that people would like to share or new news? Okay, no news this week. Moving on to some of the other issues we have tagged. So anything to discuss on the sort of warning on NAPI experimental, Node SQLite performance, coverage, or debug testing? Okay, I see people shaking their heads. So then let's take a look at our stale issues. I don't see any new stale issues or think there's anything to talk about there. So let's dive into what's in the repos. Okay, these ones are just keeping things up to date.
I
And
do have a
then,
comment on the second PR there.
yep, go
Uh,
for it.
yeah, I did take a look into some of the issues, and it's some peer dependency problem because this is trying to bump plugin promise from 5 to 7, and that major version has some peer dependency issues. I think in order to solve what this problem is we need to try to upgrade all of our dependencies, major versions, and see what goes on there.
Okay. Yeah, I've been kind of ignoring that one. It's like, okay, that one doesn't pass. So yeah, because it just fails. So you're thinking like we need to manually upgrade ESLint somehow, right? And
Yeah, just like all of the dependencies that we have, just try to upgrade all their versions and see what happens. And I
yeah,
left a
that makes
comment
sense.
about that.
I don't know if there's an easy way to just say upgrade everything, but
There's some NPX scripts that you
okay.
can run that would update everything. So we can update everything, push it, and just see what happens.
Yeah, that seems like a good way. Okay.
Hmm.
Somebody has a chance to do that, that'd be good. And also since I know you've been working a lot on this one,
Hmm. This one,
go
I
ahead.
believe now is finished. I completed renaming the synchronous to basic. I've updated the documentation. We had marked it as Semver Major because that was the initial implementation. We thought everybody would need to change. That's not the case, so I removed that. And I changed the title so that Release Please should be able to pick it up.
Okay,
Um, so I think everything is ready. So just a review, and then if everything looks good, we can run it on Jenkins and then go from there.
sounds good.
Well, another one issue that came up to my mind is that Gabriel just renamed the type in core. I'm not sure if we want to wait until that change.
Right. So
But
the Gabe's change is backwards compatible because he just added with the type def. So my thought is that we can merge this whenever we're ready. And then when his change rename has been landed in all versions, then we can just rename, our types in this. That's probably what I would do.
That makes sense
yeah,
to me.
Yeah, it's not blocking.
Right. Because like all that I would end up needing to do is just change it from no GC to basic. And it's not a breaking change because they're equivalent. And then finally, we discussed that uh, adding an opt-in flag that requires all finalizers to be basic. I would defer that to a different PR. So that would
Sounds
be
good.
next.
Okay, so looks it's ready to go. Just to
Sounds good.
yeah,
I'll take a
take a
look.
look.
yeah. It's really large PR. Thank you very much, and thank you to go out. completely read. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of good work on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding the documentation, basically since we split basic and regular env, it's just moving those functions over. So yeah, should be good to go.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds good. Let me go back then to issues. Don't see any new issues since last week, so anything we should chat about? Okay, I will flip over to
Should we close this about this naming of environments? Sounds like a decision been made, and maybe we should close the issue.
Yeah.
sorry, that was go back. That was this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can close it.
Yeah, good point.
Okay. That's good. Keep our issues down to. Okay, and then I will flip over to. Okay,
Yeah, I can talk about this one in particular. It's related to the previous one. The number is 52984.
52984.
Yeah, I split the benchmark from this PR because we don't have node API create property key UTF-16 before, so I don't think this PR should be blocked by benchmark. And I met, I don't know if I pronounced their name correctly, but yeah, they asked me to help them to move this PR forward. And yeah, I think the PR state should be ready to go, and I stability the benchmark. The cell needs to be rerun for unrelated failure. And yeah, the benchmark was splitted, and the pull request should be ready to go once the cell is green. And
Does that pull require, like, does the CI need to be resumed or restarted?
resumed. I just Vladimir just started it yesterday.
Okay. Okay, so that's related. So this is just adding the benchmark.
Yeah. Since Node API create property key UTF-16 was added before, so yeah, this is separate work from that PR.
Okay.
I'm just curious, did you see a perf gain?
Not really in this naive benchmark. It's a really a micro benchmark. I think we might need a more real world case to see how the improvement is. But no, I didn't see any improvements in particular in this PR.
So I guess the perf improvements should go after we exercise it multiple. We can reuse it multiple times. I wonder if your benchmark is actually.
Yeah, it would be good if you take a look at this PR that we create properties, use a property key on a bunch of different objects in this benchmark, so that at each time V8 will reshape the object, right? So it's not using the property key for probably we can add another benchmark that use the property key on same object. But yeah, in this case, we use the property key for different objects, and there is no significant improvement.
I haven't looked at the PR closely, but is the creation of the objects a part of the benchmark?
Yeah, I
Okay.
excluded the creation of objects outside the benchmark time. And the
Oh.
benchmark is derived from a existing benchmark case which did this well, so I just altered it a little bit for the property case.
Interesting. Okay.
It's kind of strange. I really would expect that property key kind of would improve some perf. Okay, I need to look at the change.
Yeah, you can take a look at the benchmark and see if there's some reason that explains that for you.
Yeah, you can see that we only calculate the benchmark from the command about start the benchmark and conclude the benchmark. It only includes the set property keys and PI set property on a bunch of different objects. Starting from line 54. And a little bit
line
down.
54, okay, right.
Yeah, line 54, yeah.
And how do we compare with normal string creation? Do we have this comparison here?
Yeah, the property key is line 71 and the line 78 creates property key based on different variants. Like the first non-property key function creates a property key, and the normal string creates a normal string and use that as a property key.
I see. Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, we might need to take a look into how the performance improvements can be made in this case. But yeah, I don't think it's blocking for the UTF-8 and Latin one.
Maybe it's like I see like property name is just 4 characters. It's kind of unusual. Should we increase it a bit?
Yeah, that can be. Yeah.
Distinctly, for the normal string, like delay is supposed to be like it's supposed to calculate this hash code. Obviously, for small string, it will be kind of faster, right?
Yeah, that could be the reason.
But it's still kind of good to see, like one thing like to think about, like we gain in perf. Another thing like to have actual stuff, which test
Yeah,
this.
right.
Okay.
And also realistically, I without having looked at the code, we normally set more than one property on an object, right? Like they usually have like 6 or 7 properties, right? And then we set the same 6 or 7 properties on a large number of objects, right? And that's where the perf diff comes from. So I don't know if maybe we should add that, like instead of just adding a single property, that would make the case a little more realistic, maybe.
I think it will also make a difference when the object is in dictionary mode, because if it is in dictionary mode, each time setting a property will have to it'll be different from a small object which saves the properties in the object itself. Yeah, I think it'll be good to make different case where the object is a really large object.
And we can, I guess, add later like something for UTF-8 and as well after merge PR merged.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. It's a great. Thank you for implementing this benchmark. It's just something we can play with and see.
Yeah. Also, I think we might need to add more benchmarks on the buffers case. You see, the fourth item in the list is complaining about create buffer is super slow. So yeah, we might need to add a benchmark for this case as well. So see if there is any improvements we can make in this API.
That makes sense.
Regarding that create external buffer is super slow. Did we discuss that last week and ask something? Did they get back? Oh, yes. They said removing the
Right.
finalizer improves things.
Okay.
It's what I see, like we kind of wrapping up finalizer multiple times. Yeah, I guess like next step, like Cheng Zhong said, like we need to create kind of perf test benchmark just to see it.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that the original poster did follow up and does see a difference. So
Yeah, so that would say it is related to the overhead we add in terms of the finalization versus just the new buffer being slow.
Yeah, it seems like even we sent finalizer as null, we still kind of wrap it up. It's over here, and we still kind of allocate memory. We still do some extra work. It's what actually I saw. Just I look for the code. This code change it. We don't do much besides just wrapping up with finalizer.
Right, so basically if there's like that no GC finalized callback, even if that's null, we do a bunch of stuff. Is that the
Right, like we still do
Yeah,
memory allocation.
okay?
It's maybe something we can, like you see,
Yeah, that might be
it's
if
a
we could-
conditional in this code snippet. We kind of
We could somehow make that do nothing if it was null.
would it be a common case though that you would not have a finalizer though? Because then you'd never be able to free your data.
Well, if
That's
the
your case.
data is a constant
Yeah.
block,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be one small improvement.
But I think like we doing finalizer wrapper twice. Like first of all, we wrapping up Node API and finalizer. Then we wrapping up Node core finalizer. You know, to pass. So effectively, we for each finalizer we do two memory allocations right now. Like it's can probably avoid it in some cases.
So we should also look at Node add-on API and short circuit if there is no finalizer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's one of the things to do. Like I guess, yeah.
Is this, and I'm just looking just to make sure is this actually using Node add-on API or not? I don't think so. It looks like it's calling like it's the C API directly, right?
Yeah, I don't think I would want to modify Node add-on API for not attaching the final because it's just a parameter that gets passed to the underlying C API. So to me, it makes more sense for the C API to decide what to do with it.
Right, but we allocate an object on the Node add-on API side too because the signature of a Node add-on API is different, right?
That's true. We create that detail finalized data wrapper thing. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. Yeah, we should avoid that if there's if it's pointless.
So one thing we can do, we imagine like V8 requires this finalizer a certain way, right? Like what I can look at it, maybe we can create one more buffer constructor which receives different type of finalizer, which like V8 finalizer. So effectively can avoid one level of indirection for finalizer.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it's like does the V8, well, yeah, I wonder if the V8 needs a finalizer at all. And so is it the wrapping or is it the fact that we give one? Like maybe we need the finalizer to do our own work and just having one causes things to slow down. But
yeah, good point. Okay, I still didn't do like very deep investigations here. Yeah, it's just some preliminary like look at over code.
Okay, any other ones we should chat about? I don't see anything else new.
There's this verify env parameter with the get UV event loop. We had decided just to put that deprecation notice in the documentation, right? So is this some issue that like was that landed? And if so, can we close this out?
Right.
Yeah, I think the document already says
Yeah.
So we can close this
it's
then.
not safe to create. Do we need to update the document? Because I don't think there is any
I
document.
just looked at our HTML docs for the get UV event loop. And it does say there's that note that Michael added. It does not provide ABI stability. Use async functions instead.
Well, I mean, all functions in node.js are not stressive unless explicitly mentioned, right? So I don't
Right.
think we have to mention in each function that it is not stressive.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think because like what we had discussed was possibly even like removing this API get UV event loop because the fact that it integrates so close with UV to make it not ABI stable. But of course we can't remove anything. So we just put in a note on the documentation for that method itself that we recommend not using it. And I guess it is a little different from what this person is reporting. Like they're reporting, I'm not able to use this in outside of the node loop. And we're saying you shouldn't even be using that function
Shouldn't use it
anyway.
at all, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which isn't
Uh,
really solving a thing, but Chengzong's comment there, if he thumbs up it, then I guess he understands that with combination of the documentation update, which solves a separate issue, I think we can then close this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will do that.
sounds good.
Any other
Um,
ones that we should chat about?
Just
Did
got to
you look at this
resume on
as
the rename. That's all.
Sorry, say that again?
Rename build is almost green. There's only one still
Okay,
red, but that's it for that one.
right. That's just a matter of restarting the CI, right?
Well, resuming hopefully
Sorry,
because
resuming, yeah.
like yeah, I tried to do it, but I'm on my phone right now, so I don't even know. Like I tried to open the page and it doesn't show red anywhere, but that could just be because it's badly rendering. See, like why does it
Yeah,
say it's red?
I think that's a problem with the GitHub bot. So
Oh,
like I would say, I would make just a comment like I looked at the output from the actual Jenkins run, it's all green, therefore I'm gonna land it.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Right? Like sometimes that happens where it's like, yeah, it just I don't know, it's not updating the status based and actually, yeah, it's not updating this status unless this is yeah, and if I click here, that's number 54371, right?
Yep.
And then if I go here, this is a later one, right?
Uh, the ID that you looked at is for the child build, not for the root build, right? Or were you looking at the root build?
Well, okay, let's look at the PPC one then here. We can find it. Where is PPC? Where is it under Linux? PPC. Where are we?
if you go to the child one, at the top of the child one, it shows you the tree from which the
Okay.
child one was created.
Sure.
So if you click on the red one, it'll show you the root build that caused it.
Right. So, okay. So I'm here.
Yeah, started by upstream project. That's Linux. That's weird because it doesn't show all the way back to like. Okay, yeah, and yeah, click on that, and now this should be the root. Okay, so
60535, and how does that match the
yeah,
so
60535.
60535? Is that the last one? No. So it's
It's a
second
second
last.
to last.
Okay, I see. It didn't update from the last one.
Yeah. So I think that confirms that, yeah, it should be okay. Like, unfortunately, that would mean that like just asking it to land it isn't going to work, but landing it
Yeah,
manually. should.
I'll land it manually.
Yeah. Okay. And I
All right,
suspect
cool.
that like the node core utils, it may just tell you, yeah, the last one passed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, any others? Okay, if not, any other topics people want to bring up and chat about this week? Well, if not, thanks for everybody's time, and we will see you all on GitHub and next time.
Right. So.
All right, talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.